Hold on. Before you click away, you need to hear this. WWE is about to make a decision that could either create their next unstoppable monster or absolutely waste one of the most terrifying talents they've had in years. And if they screw this up, the internet is going to explode. I'm talking about Oba Femi, and what I'm about to tell you is going to make you question everything WWE has planned for their main roster. What's up, WrestleScope family? If you're new here, smash that subscribe button because we're diving deep into the most controversial call-up story in WWE right now. Here's what's got me absolutely furious, and I guarantee it's going to get you fired up too. WWE officials are reportedly unbelievably impressed with Oba Femi. Impressed? Impressed? This man hasn't just impressed people, he's dominated NXT like a final boss in a video game that nobody can beat. He held the NXT North American Championship for 319 days. That's not just impressive, that's legendary. But here's where my blood starts boiling, and yours should too. We've seen this movie before, haven't we? Karrion Kross dominated NXT. What happened on the main roster? Buried. Keith Lee was unstoppable in NXT. Main roster? Wasted. Even someone like Gunther, had people worried he'd get the same treatment, and thank God they finally got that one right. So when I hear WWE is impressed with Oba Femi, I don't get excited, I get terrified, because impressed doesn't mean they have a plan. Impressed doesn't mean they understand what they have. Impressed just means they've noticed him, and in WWE's recent history, being noticed and being properly utilized are two completely different things. And if they call him up to feed him to Roman Reigns in 3 months, or worse, turn him into some comedy act, I'm done. You should be done. We all should be done. But let me tell you what should happen and why Oba Femi might be different. First, let's talk about who Oba Femi actually is, because if you've been sleeping on NXT, you've been missing out on witnessing the birth of a superstar. This man stands at 6'4", weighs 270 pounds of pure muscle, and moves like someone half his size. His combination of size, speed, athleticism, and raw intensity is something WWE hasn't had since a young Bobby Lashley or even Brock Lesnar. I said what I said, and I'm standing on it. His record-breaking North American Championship reign wasn't just about length, it was about quality. Every defense felt like a main event. Every opponent looked like they'd been through war. Tony D'Angelo, Dragon Lee, Joe Coffey, Wesley, he went through them all like they were nothing. And the crazy part, he made them look good while making himself look unstoppable. That's a rare gift. That's money. That's what should have WWE officials not just impressed, but literally planning the next 5 years of their main event scene around this man. Now you might be thinking, okay, he's big and athletic, so what? WWE has plenty of big guys. And that's where you'd be wrong. Oba Femi has something most big men in WWE don't have. He has presence. When he walks into a frame, everything else disappears. His facial expressions, his body language, the way he carries that championship like it's an extension of his soul, that's not something you can teach in the Performance Center. That's it factor stuff. Plus, and this is crucial, he's already shown he can talk. His promos have improved dramatically over the past year. He's not cutting Stone Cold Steve Austin promos yet, but he doesn't need to. His presence does 90% of the work. He just needs to show up, say something intimidating, and then destroy whoever is standing across from him. The WWE Universe is desperate for a new monster, someone who feels dangerous, someone who makes you believe that when they step in the ring, someone's getting hurt. Oba Femi is that guy. Here's where things get interesting, and this is where WWE could either strike gold or fumble the bag completely. Look at the current main roster landscape. On SmackDown, you've got Cody Rhodes at the top, LA Knight making waves, and a bunch of guys fighting for position. On Raw, you've got a constantly rotating door of challengers, and let's be honest, the show could use a legitimate monster to shake things up. Imagine Oba Femi showing up on Raw the night after WrestleMania. No warning, no introduction. He just destroys someone in the middle of their celebration. Instant heat, instant credibility, instant main eventer. Or, and hear me out on this one, what if they did something bold? What if they brought him up and immediately put him in a faction? Not as a lackey, as a leader. Give him some hungry NXT talents who are ready to take over and let them run roughshod over the main roster for 6 months. It worked for the Shield, it worked for the Bloodline, it could work again. But here's what keeps me up at night about this whole situation. WWE has a track record of overthinking things. They see someone doing amazing character work in NXT, then they get to the main roster, and suddenly there are 17 writers trying to put their spin on the character. Before you know it, what made someone special in NXT is completely gone. Oba Femi doesn't need a complicated character. He doesn't need skits where he's buying groceries or doing backstage comedy segments. He needs to show up, look intimidating, cut a short but intense promo, and then wreck someone. That's it. It's not complicated. My biggest fear is that they're going to try to make him relatable or likable, when what makes him special is that he's terrified. Not every character needs to be a hero. Not every character needs to smile and shake hands. Sometimes you just need a guy who looks like he could legitimately end someone's career if you wanted to. Let's talk history for a second, because context matters here. WWE has had dominant NXT champions before. Some succeeded on the main roster, many didn't. The difference between success and failure usually came down to one thing. Did WWE commit to them? When they committed to Drew McIntyre after his return, he became WWE champion and one of the biggest stars in the company. When they committed to Bianca Belair, she became a megastar. When they committed to Gunther, he had one of the greatest Intercontinental Championship runs in history. But when they didn't commit, we got the sad story of Karrion Kross showing up on Raw without Scarlett in a gimp mask, losing to Jeff Hardy in 90 seconds. We got Keith Lee bouncing around with no direction until he was released. We got Ricochet doing incredible athletic things but never quite breaking through to main event status. The question isn't whether Oba Femi has the talent. He does. The question is whether WWE will have the patience and the vision to let that talent flourish. Here's my fantasy booking for Oba Femi's first year on the main roster, and honestly, if Triple H is watching this, feel free to take notes. Months 1 through 3, Oba debuts and goes on an absolute rampage. He attacks people backstage, he interrupts matches, he makes it clear that he doesn't care about respect or paying dues. He's here to take what he wants. No comedy, no losses, just destruction. Months 4 through 6, he enters a feud with an established main eventer, someone with name value who can afford to take a loss. Maybe a Kevin Owens or an AJ Styles, someone the fans love but who can help elevate Oba by making him look like a killer in defeat. Oba wins the feud decisively. Months 7 through 9, he challenges for a mid-card title, either the Intercontinental or United States Championship. He wins it in devastating fashion and begins a reign of terror similar to his NXT run. Months 10 through 12, by the end of year 1, he should be in the world title picture. Maybe he doesn't win it yet, but he should be positioned as an inevitable champion, someone the current champion fears. That's a star-making trajectory. That's how you build a monster correctly. That's how you create the next big thing. I'm going to say something controversial, so get ready to blow up the comment section. If WWE books Oba Femi correctly, he could be bigger than Bobby Lashley ever was in WWE. I said it. Come at me. Bobby Lashley is a legend, don't get me wrong, but he spent years being misused before WWE finally figured out how to present him as an unstoppable monster in his 40s. Oba Femi is in his mid-20s and is already everything Bobby had to work years to convince people he could be. That's not a knock on Bobby, that's a testament to how ready Oba is right now. If they let him be himself, amplified by the main roster spotlight, he could main event WrestleMania within 2 years. Not 5 years, not eventually, 2 years. But only if they don't mess it up. So here's where we're at. WWE officials are pressed with Oba Femi. A main roster call-up is reportedly close, and everyone who's been paying attention to NXT knows that this man is special. But being special in NXT and being special on the main roster are two different things, and it all comes down to how WWE handles this call-up. Do they have a plan? Do they understand what they have? Are they going to commit to making him a star, or are they going to get cold feet and do what they've done to so many NXT call-ups before? I'm cautiously optimistic, and here's why. Triple H is in charge now. The creative direction of WWE has been significantly better over the past year. They've built up stars like Gunther, LA Knight, and Cody Rhodes correctly. They've shown they can do this when they commit. But that doesn't mean I'm not worried, because I've seen WWE fumble the bag too many times. I've seen them take can't-miss prospects and somehow miss with them anyway. Oba Femi deserves better than that. We deserve better than that. We deserve to see this incredible talent reach his full potential on the biggest stage in professional wrestling. The ball is in WWE's court. The question is, will they score or will they trip over their own feet right before the goal line? And that's why I need your help right now. If you want to see Oba Femi succeed on the main roster, if you want WWE to know that we're watching and we care about this call-up, you need to make your voice heard. Smash that like button right now. Drop a comment telling me your dream scenario for Oba Femi's debut. Where should he go, Raw or SmackDown? Who should be his first feud? Get creative in those comments. And if you're not already subscribed to WrestleScope, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we're going to be covering every single step of this call-up process. When Oba Femi debuts on the main roster, you're going to want to be here for the breakdown. This is either going to be the beginning of something incredible, or it's going to be another WWE fumble that we'll be complaining about for years. Let's hope it's the former. I'm out. Stay scoped in, WrestleScope family.